one thing Jacques was really interested on during the week was when he clarified.
I need to do my homework here.
It was about his role and how he defined his role within how you guys work. And just as you approach the Stormers coming out of last week with good performance, the week before, not so good. How do you kind of set the game plan for this week? Who sits down and says, this is how we want to play, and you guys go and implement it? How does that work? How collaborative is it? How democratic is it? How much is it you saying to the unit coaches, right, I want this and this, and you guys figure it out? Can you just maybe shed some light on that process for us?
Yeah, well, in terms of, listen, we will have direction of travel in terms of the way we want to play the game. So, and that's, in terms of getting coaches here in the first place. So there has been evolution, pretty much year on year. Like Robin has been here since, 2019. Jacques arrived 4 years later post the World Cup in 2023. So when he was here originally, or arrived first, it was Andrew Goodman was here. And then Goody, when he went to Ireland, was replaced by Tyler, and obviously there was a relationship there. So as the four, probably senior coaches, and then you've got Emmett Farrell as the kicking and skills role, and you've Sean O'Brien as the contact skills role, and you've Annas that feed in. So, and so we would set off in pre-season, okay, this is the way we were planning on approaching the game, blah, 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 and who's responsible, roles and responsibilities. And then you're making tweaks to that all the time, depending on the opposition and how you will theme certain weeks and what's going to be important. What are the three most important things when we face the Stormers versus what were the three most important things when we faced the Lions the week before and Bordeaux the week before that. And that's how you set up a week. And listen, you've X amount of units of time to coach. But you come in, the game was obviously Saturday night late. There will be connection with coaches on a Sunday. Because we work on a Sunday, so there will be medical reviews will take place, and then you're sort of who are the fit and able bodies and what does the week's training look like, and then with Charlie Higgins, who is our head of performance. So it's pulling all that together, but it's a completely collaborative process. We'll have some ideas on a Sunday around selection because we would have already met on the previous Friday. So before we played the Lions, we would have met as a group of coaches on a Friday, because we're previewing. Okay, who do we think we're going to play? Stormers versus Cardiff, and you have two scouts ready to go. On Saturday, then one scout goes in the bin because you'd spend X amount of hours dealing with that team, but because it's the potential there, you can't discount it would actually take place. And then you build your plan based on, okay, well, this is the time of year. How much time have we got to actually train this? So we have a defensive system as an example. We have a general attacking system. We'll have different tweaks to maps, so everyone will feed into that. Attack, defence, set piece, and then the role that Shawnee would have probably around contact area as well, kicking game, Emmett. So everyone will feed into that. So and then there's a physical component. Okay, well, what sort of shape are the group in, and what can we actually do, and selection, who's talking to who, and who's managing the non-selected, and making sure that everyone's feeding into the same performance. So, and that goes the cycle week on week on week. So, and then depending on week to week, what level of time you have, because depending where you've trained. Listen, I was listening to Stormers in terms of what was their training week. They played on Saturday, off Sunday, back in Monday, fly Monday night, land on Tuesday at some stage, train yesterday the way I understood it, off today, captain's run Friday. So that's what I've taken from there. Press snippets. So, and you've just got to be able to pull the plan all together then, and then off you go in terms of delivering messages and who's going to talk when, and you deliver a big team performance every week. So, and listen, I think we've done a pretty good job at that. I think there's a sort of a sense that people want to tend to pick holes in us at the moment. I'm not sure why. Why isn't this week versus during the year? Listen, we've got ourselves to a final, so we're clearly doing plenty of things well. But as in we're constantly trying to improve, and then at moments during the season, because listen, we're on what is it? I don't know, X amount of games in a row. Is it what are we 12 or 13? Is it? And then listen, next week, win, lose or draw, we will sit down and review. Okay, well, we'll have a proper deep dive. Okay, in terms of general direction of where we want to travel next in terms of how we want to evolve our game. Because listen, week to week, it's little tweaks. It's not like you're going to throw it all out just based on one performance. I mean, that's not realistic to do because it'll be too confusing for the players. So you need some level of consistency. But there's definitely certain times in the year where you can make more significant changes to the way you play the game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just last one for me. The game style itself appears to be from the outside that you're trying to play quite a high volume attack and play a kind of continuity game, and your stats show you have a lot of possession, but you're also trying to play an ultra aggressive defense. As well as that, do you worry at all about the players' energy within that, and whether you're biting off too much at both ends within the game? And is that something that you've tweaked since the final? I know that was played in a furnace, so it's a different set of circumstances. So that's the question.
Yeah, I sort of wonder, like, you obviously think you've lost the final to Toulouse as an example. The last Champions Cup final we lost. And yeah, like it's a very tight game, isn't it? Like, so have we evolved since then? Like in ways from an attacking point of view, yeah. But we would have had a kind of want to keep ball multi-phase attack then as well. So yeah, I don't think we've changed drastically so obviously again, it's the context of using your reference in Bilbao, the conditions. Yeah, like did we set the team up well enough for the conditions on the day? That's you could debate about that potentially, yeah. But at the same time, listen, Bordeaux had chance in the 22, much more clinical than us. We had chance in their 22, and that's still a bit of a like it's close quarters contact. And listen, we reviewed that as a group, so like as in the players have seen those images, so I think they look back and go, chippers, as in I'd love to have that chance again, you know what I mean? But as we know, you don't get a second chance, so you still got to go through the review of that imagery. So, and again, that's looking back, as in we still need to be able to look forward to Stormers quite quickly now. Obviously it was Lions last week, because again, I think it's no big secret, listen, that we gave the players off on the Monday after the final, so we had a Tuesday, Wednesday cabins run on the Friday, off down day on the Thursday, and play again on Saturday night. So this week had a bit more of a consistent training week with a Monday, Tuesday off Wednesday, into what train today, and so we'll be pretty light now tomorrow, just a few scenarios, and we go again. So yeah, does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, like in terms of like it's short term tweaks, and then like when we get the gaps, okay, let's have a proper look at what we're doing here, as in what do we need to make drastic changes, and we have made drastic changes in terms of, particularly when you do get a different coach into the building, because they have offer a different skill set, and it's I would have always had a natural, like, I'm so inquisitive around the way the top teams do things, like obviously with how does South Africa win 2 World Cups as an example. Jacques has played a very significant role in that, from what I've seen in terms of system, but also when I talk to a lot of the individuals that have a very close working relationship with the people involved there. So, and that's why we're incredibly lucky to have him here. So, it's what I believe. Listen, I think he's a genius, you know what I mean, in terms of what he does. So, and the group love working with him as well. Listen, I know they do. So, but it was definitely when Stu left at the time to go to take on his role with Racing and to be a head coach ultimately again and do his thing again. Which is, listen, everybody obviously understood all the reasons why at the time. So, but it was a significant step. But as we knew, we were like, okay, well, we think all these things will. Potential positives. Okay, well, what will this look like? And we have lived our way through that. And but as I still think it's amazing for the player group to experience that something different. And I still think, in terms of what I said last week, attacking the game, both sides of the ball. So attacking when we have the ball, and that's the way we want to play as Leinster, always. But also attacking we don't have the ball, which is maybe a slightly different, but the players love that. They love that aggressive mindset. So, and no better man to deliver that.
Can I just ask you about Sam Prendergast, Leo? Like big vote of confidence from this week. Like to me, just watching the game last week at the Lions, he just looked like a lad who was just getting the groove a bit, enjoying his rugby again. Like he's had a rough time with his Six Nations. Just interested to hear what your thoughts on him and how he's recovered from that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like when we talk to a young player, like in Sam, obviously in this case, if you have a bad day, like as in, the older players, younger players, but the scrutiny obviously on number 10 is a little bit of it's a higher level than the other positions on the field. But the experience that he has had as a 23-year-old, is he now? Just turned 22, is he 22, 23? Is incredible, really, isn't it? Like when you think about it. So it's not to get disheartened by that. It's just like, listen, you've had amazing experience now. Some of it has been brilliant in terms of very positive. Other times it's a bit more of a rough ride. So, and the 10 quite often relies on many of the other component parts of a team as well to whether they can stand out. So, particularly on the lower numbers in front of them. But yeah, listen, he was great at the weekend, and that's why he's picked again. So, and yeah, listen, we want to keep investing in those guys, and it's good competition. I know, we've other positions that chop and change that wouldn't get as much maybe airtime as 10 does. But listen, we think we've got great individuals there, and listen, we're lucky with starting Sam and Harry off the bench, and I know Kieran obviously plenty of airtime about that, which is I fully understand as well. But he's unlucky to miss out on this occasion.
Yeah, and look, I remember, I know it was tongue in cheek when you were talking to Premier Sports the last time after the game, and I think you know where I'm going, but Connacht taking some of your players. That I know you've had a few run-ins with Zebo, and I know it's all been very kind of playful, but it sounds like, is there on a deeper level a little bit of frustration there about that sort of, creaming off of players and that sort of little bit of
No, it's the system. I think it's great. You know what I mean? It's important that everyone understands. Well, from a recruitment point of view, everyone goes, "Oh, we're not bringing in many players," but that's the same thing I hear every year. But what we're bringing in is there's 7-8 academy players that are ready to come in to year one, and that's going to be the future. And everyone just pushes on a year older. So, and we need to just continue to be good at doing that. And you want to be the best out there anywhere in the world. So, and listen, we're lucky with lots of things that go on in terms of grassroots level clubs and schools that do amazing work for Leinster. So, we just need to keep pushing on there. And then there's all the different decisions that take place during the course of every year. So, but the main thing is making sure we Leinster keep investing in the grassroots and trying to get as many good young players through, and the quality of coaching and S&C, nutrition, everything is really, really top end. So we just need to keep going after that. And then it's just the competition is good, and listen, throughput of players and decisions get made, but listen, making sure we have somebody that's ready to take the spot of the next person that leaves potentially. So and there's all the different subplots, as we know.
Sorry, Leo, just to follow up very quickly on that one. Numerically, will you have the same size squad next year, or do you have to supplement it with a few more promotions from the academy? On a numerical basis, how will that work?
It'd be pretty similar, yeah.
Okay, that's great.
It's one or two either way,
Yeah.
So, yeah. We'll see. Yeah, a bit of scope there. Maybe something develops during the year. I don't know. There's always. Obviously a couple of players, added the group this year. So obviously Jerry was a short term, as started the season, came in, got kept on for the year. And then obviously Ed Byrne, as an example, joined. Just because, it's in terms of injury profile and different positions, and different factors in terms of what young guys are there ready. So if you have a ready-made young guy and you want to give them opportunities and be patient and all the rest, versus trying to get somebody from somewhere else on a short-term basis, there's always a let's wait and see, depends scenario. I think back to someone like a JJ Kenny, it was incredible, really. He came in on a trial during pre-season, and we still want to try and do that with, some club guys, and, keep encouraging younger club players that maybe have not quite made a professional setup for whatever reason, that they have a genuine avenue to get into professional rugby, because, you have the right environment for players that have the right mentality and mindset, and some physical qualities generally help as well. That's the thing, with JJ, he's a great athlete. So, you want to make sure it's accessible to everyone that's out there. And obviously the clubs that we have here as well in Leinster are doing great work. So, trying to encourage that to continue as well.